Welcome to this video, and in this one we are interviewing a Danish astrophotographer, so all the way from Denmark. It is Ruslan, also known as Astro RMS. He's like an unbelievable astrophotographer. His pictures are so bright and vibrant with colours, and he gets noctilucent clouds, northern lights, awesome Milky Way things. He's about the same sort of latitude as Scotland. So yeah, he's just a phenomenal photographer. He's won a lot of awards, teaches a lot of people, does kind of nightscape tuition and stuff like that. And he's very, very, very talented. So it's good to hear all of his experiences. As usual, all links are down below. But you've probably heard of him because he's quite, good on social media, and his Instagram is mind blowing. So yeah, we'll just jump into the chat, and here is
That's it.
Ruslan. Ruslan, you're in Denmark, aren't you? Whereabouts in Denmark are you? Is it
Yeah,
Denmark?
yeah,
Denmark,
that
yeah.
is correct. Yes.
Yeah, whereabouts?
I live in northern Denmark, the island called Mors.
Hmm.
It's the biggest island in Limfjord, but because of my studies and, when you're still trying to build up career and you study, you actually need to move quite a lot around the country because if you want to take an education in Denmark, well, basically you need to move to closer to the eastern coast. So that's either the cities like Aalborg, Aarhus, in Jutland, or otherwise it's Odense or Copenhagen.
Oh, there you go. Is it okay for dark skies in your area, or do you have to
Yeah.
drive a wee bit?
Well, the current place that I am at, it's actually I call it for my hometown because it's well, basically the same city and the same island where me and my mom moved to back in 2011 when we immigrated to Denmark. So I have lived here basically for entire of my adulthood while living in Denmark, and the skies here are absolutely perfect. I mean,
Beautiful, yeah.
I can just go out in my backyard or in my garden and just shoot the Milky
Nice.
Way or yeah, deep sky
Yeah,
and stuff
yeah.
like
I like most of your content, all like amazing pictures you've got. It's all kind of like looking like over like the sea and the beaches and stuff. So you must have that right in your doorstep, and it's
that.
easy enough to get to. So you got beautiful skies just looking over the sea and stuff.
Yeah, that is
Um,
true. But also at the same time, Denmark is just surrounded by water whenever
yeah,
you
it's all
look
just
or
islandy,
wherever
isn't it?
you go. Yeah, because
Yeah,
so many islands and so many yeah, water bodies. Like you have the North Sea, then you
yeah,
have the Baltic Sea on the other side of the shore.
yeah,
Sorry, on the other side of the coast, and lots
yeah.
of fjords, lakes, and stuff like that.
Yeah, it doesn't take long to get from one side to the other, pretty much.
No, no, no,
Yeah,
not really. Well, Denmark in general is a very small country. You
yeah,
can, it can take like max 6 hours to get from the north post, from the northernmost point, which is
yeah,
Skagen, and to Copenhagen. So 6 hours
yeah,
to cross the entire country. It's
yeah,
absolutely
yeah.
nothing.
That's pretty good. It's kind of like it's probably like Scotland sort of size. Don't know, might be a wee bit smaller than Scotland. Um, so yeah, you've got a good amount of dark skies. Hopefully, well, you do. You're also a good latitude for Northern Lights and stuff. I've seen you've been getting really good aurora shows the past few months. I think March was unreal. We got an amazing show, and then obviously, yeah, you got an amazing show as well. You got some really good pictures over like the city. That was pretty cool. And I remember you posted it's on your YouTube the real time, and you could see it pulsing. That was amazing because after watching your video, I looked back at mine and I could see it on the background of like me. I was chatting to the camera and you could see it just pulsing in the back, and I didn't realize that with my naked eye when I was there. But you could properly see it. And I swear I remember seeing it with the naked eye. You could just see this kind of pulsing thing, but you didn't think it's just weird. But yeah, do you think Northern Lights is will it get more active in the next few years and stuff?
Well, according to all the mathematical and solar models that we're seeing out there, the solar maximum will be peaking in approximately within the next 2 to 3 years,
Yeah,
or it can be within the next couple of months. But otherwise, yeah, I'm just hoping for
Could be good.
many more and much crazier displays of
Yeah,
the Northern Lights, because it is so unreal. And
yeah,
in general, because I'm studying tourism and tourism management and tourism
right.
development, it is extremely noticeable how suddenly people started to get into the night sky phenomena, and
Yeah,
what kind of things you can experience under the night sky,
yeah,
which is actually extremely useful when we are talking about tourism development and sustainability. And this is actually the situation where those two things, they can be merged together, and where they can become a useful things for creating or developing economy in a sustainable way, because
yeah,
not so many people actually consider darkness as a positive thing,
yeah, yeah.
which is
That's a great
why,
thing for
because of the
tourism.
Northern Lights, yeah, there is so much
Yeah, there's so much hype
interest.
about it just now.
Yeah, yeah,
It's
exactly.
ridiculous. It's I think with current technology and stuff, people can like video on their phones nowadays, and everything's just so much better for technology. It's becoming way more popular now, and like I can only say like say if I post something on my like socials and stuff, Northern Lights stuff just skyrockets. Everyone goes crazy over anything Northern
Yeah,
Lights. So yeah, I think the next few years is going to be really, really good, and it's all over news and stuff. But I don't know what's like in Denmark, but like the British news, Scotland's news or whatever is quite bad at just going, "Oh, Northern Lights are out tonight," but they don't know what they're kind of talking about. So people know what they're doing, look at stats and stuff, are
yeah,
more reliable
I
than
can relate.
news.
It's basically the same things, the same thing in the Danish news.
Yeah,
So like, either there are absolutely no alerts whatsoever if
yeah,
a solar wind is actually arriving um, at the Earth. But otherwise, it's like I have seen quite many, or experienced quite many situations that there was a news article that tonight you can experience Northern Light, but then again, the solar wind does not arrive, and you are
yeah,
basically
yeah. It's
screwed.
very finicky.
Fake
Yeah,
news, fake news.
it is. Yeah, there's a lot of fake news, and because it gets so many clicks and it's easy to clickbait,
Yeah,
very
that,
hard to
that is absolutely true. So this is why there's quite many Facebook groups that
yeah,
are
they're the
either
best things.
Northern Lights related, or like
Yeah,
night sky, or astronomy related, or just photography related.
yeah,
And Danish people are just
yeah,
yeah,
the best thing.
sharing their thoughts and asking for some tips, and
Yeah,
sharing screenshots of all these aurora alerts apps and stuff like
yeah.
that. And
There-
this is
There's an
how
app.
like the message gets spread more and more
Yeah,
uh, among
yeah,
the Danish society.
yeah. There's an app in Scotland we've got. I don't know if you've heard because everyone's starting to use it all over the world. It's Glendale app. It's not like on the App Store. It's on like it's a website that you download it to your homepage and stuff, and it's brilliant. Like there's Northern Lights. You go on that app and you tick that you've got Northern Lights and you share a picture and stuff. But it's getting so popular it keeps crashing just now. So it just shows you the popularity of it. Um, but yeah, it's like a really popular app. I think webcams is the best thing in Facebook groups, and you need to kind of know roughly what you're looking for. But yeah,
Yeah,
the news is pretty pathetic on that. But well, obviously we have to wait a few months for Northern Lights because we're coming into summer. But the noctiluls and clouds is just around the corner. You're at the same latitude pretty much as us, so you're looking forward to them.
yeah, for sure. But and especially, I'm extremely surprised how surprisingly and extremely unusually the good weather is, and
Yeah,
has been for the past few weeks
yeah. Have you
already
had a lot,
here.
lot of clear skies? Because we've had like two weeks of clear skies.
Yeah, it's just sunny all the time.
Yeah,
Nearly the entire May has been
yeah,
cloudless, and as I can see in the weather forecast, the at least the next 8 to 10 days are just
yeah.
sun,
Sun,
Um,
yeah. We've got this whole week. We're like summer this whole week. There's no clouds forecast this whole week. We've got big high pressure over us. But as soon as the non-existent clouds start coming out, that's when it goes cloudy. You damn right know that because obviously I don't think there's been any spots so far. Not seen anything online this year. But as soon as that first northern non-existent clouds comes on social media, the weather will change. It should be.
well, let's hope
Mm,
not. Let's hope it's not going to happen like
mm,
that, as you
yeah.
explained.
Yeah. Have you got any plans for the Noxus and Clouds this year? Any
Not
shots lined
really.
up?
I would actually I really want to try to be a little bit more active this year, especially since I will have all the free time that I even can imagine having.
Hmm.
But then again, when you're out in the sun through
Yeah.
through the entire day, when it gets dark, you are just extremely tired and you don't have any power, no energy. So this is
Yeah.
why astrophotography is so challenging because you all the time have to push your physical limits and
Yeah.
what your body is capable of.
Yeah. Summer's hard because, to get any picture, let's say Noxus and Clouds of what any sort of star form or anything, it is like 1, 2 o'clock in the morning. It's
Yeah,
there's
yeah,
no sociable hours about it. But I don't know for yourself, even if I'm knackered and you go out and you get a good display of Noxus and Clouds or aurora or whatever time of year, you get that adrenaline back and you feel
yeah,
awake
yeah,
again.
yeah.
But it's getting out of bed is oh
I
ah,
mean, it is so relatable. I mean, I can really understand what you have experienced, or if you
yeah,
get the same feeling all the time when you're feeling extremely tired, but then you uh, drive out somewhere to the nature and you just look up at the sky and start taking pictures, start running around with your camera, and first then you get this adrenaline kick, and when you
yeah.
look on the
Oh,
back of
it's
your camera, look at the pictures and already get this sort of idea what kind
yeah,
of picture you're gonna make as a result
yeah,
when you get back to your computer. This
yeah.
is
That's amazing. I
this is
think it's
the most yeah, this is the most probably inspirational element, and at the same time that something that just gives you energy.
yeah, it is. And what it is amazing, it's free. You just go outside, go into maybe fuel and stuff, and obviously equipment cost. But when you've got all your equipment, it's just free. You're just going outside and you get, you're doing the best thing you kind of love. Which is looking at space. Do you do anything else? Any other hobbies, or do you just do you know stars?
Well, I mean, before I got into photography, I tried a couple of things, and it was right after I moved to Denmark because it's the city where I moved to and where I live at. It's, I mean, you can basically call it a small town, nearly a village.
Mm,
So there's not really much uh, going on, or was going on at, I mean, nearly 13 years ago
yeah,
when I moved to Denmark. So instead of just sitting at home and playing computer or
yeah,
watching some kind of cartoons and just staying lonely, you need to find a hobby, something
yeah,
that will keep you awake during the day and something that will give you happiness.
yeah,
So at the beginning, I tried a couple of things. I've been going to like a mechanic courses
yeah,
that were being offered for free at the like a school of different interests.
mm,
Um, I actually went to some photography courses, but as soon during the first day before even getting to know about the camera, they just
yeah,
started to teach you about Photoshop, and I thought
yeah.
that is
It's
something
not
that is
photography.
not for me, and it's
Yeah,
not correct. So I
yeah,
just quit after
yeah.
the first, or I think the first two sessions. Yeah.
Succession. Yeah,
Um, and the third thing that I tried learning how to play guitar.
oh,
Um, yeah, and I couldn't figure it out, so I
no,
just quit it. So at the
yeah.
end,
No,
I
astrophotography is your thing. You've got a good talent for that. So I'd stick with that. It's very
yeah,
good. And
Thanks. Thanks a lot.
it's also well, it's brilliant as well. I should have talked as well, like because it gets you out and about and it makes you travel. You've traveled to was it Greenland? Seen you had a good experience in Greenland. How did you like go about going up there, or was that any part of work, or did you just travel there for a holiday? Because that was an amazing shot you got up there.
Yeah, I will. I mean, it was. I'm so grateful that it happened to me and that I got that offer. It was actually together. I sent an email because it was during the Corona, and it was right after I finished my bachelor's degree.
Mhm.
So I didn't have anything to do, and I was really hoping to uh, just get abroad and just
Yeah.
start traveling. Gap year is a extremely popular thing among the youth,
Yeah.
especially when you finish your education, like high school gymnasy or your bachelor's degree, whatever. So I was looking for. I was just sending different applications around, and was trying to find a work,
Yeah.
either like a self-employed or yeah, trying to get a job.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
um,
I'm a big fan of you don't ask, you don't get. Do it. Just ask everyone. You never go
yeah,
get it if you don't
yeah.
ask. Yeah. So
I
yeah, quite
mean,
right.
yeah. I mean that is true. You never gonna know the result if you are not going to ask.
Yeah,
So
100%. It's weird
that's
how, people are normally nicer than you think in your head. You always overthink things. Oh, I won't get that. Just ask. Screw it. The worst thing is to say is no, and you're like, all right, fair. You just move on.
I would say
So,
ignore. I would say ignorance. That is the most annoying thing.
yeah,
It's actually better to get to get declined
yeah,
rather than getting ignored.
yeah, yeah. No, 100%. Yeah. I've past few years I've traveled and met like unreal people that I've never thought I'd meet just because I was like, screw it. I'll just send a message. And you're like, whoa, I'm actually, yeah, it's mental. It's mental what just asking does. Yeah. But yeah, so you went to Greenland. How long were you in Greenland for?
So actually, yeah, regarding Greenland, I sent an application or just sent a regular email to Air Greenland if they could be interested in some kind of cooperation where I would work with popularizing astro-tourism and doing some sort of communication about the night sky and all the different experiences that you can get as a tourist when traveling to Greenland, and at the same time to yeah just to produce some content like
Wow.
yeah
So did they have
simple
like something?
astrophotographs.
Did they have something like released, or did you just go? I'm just gonna send them a message and see if they want me to go over and take pictures.
No, I was just sending different emails around to different companies,
That's
and
brilliant.
and
And
I got a reply, and then we had a couple of yeah video meetings, video calls, and the actual trip was postponed twice because of all this COVID stuff and different restrictions. But at the end, it actually 1 hour, 1 year after I
yeah,
sent the message and got the reply, it actually
wow,
yeah the trip got realized, and I've been there
wow,
for the whole month and been traveling around 5 different cities. I've been to 5 different cities and like cities, small villages, and stuff like
yeah,
that. But it was like living. It felt like
wow.
living in a dream for the
Just
first
just
time.
from one email. Wow.
Yeah,
Yeah. Well, it's about five cities. I only know what Nuuk. Is that like the main city? And then
yeah. That
anything
that
else?
is the basically the capital of Greenland.
Capital. And then yeah. Well, obviously were you just hoping for clear skies, or did you have to like follow around for the clear skies? Or you
It
just
was the weather was absolutely insane. It's
yeah,
the guys who I've been in contact with from the company. They also said, I mean, for the past couple of years they lived here, the weather hasn't been so great like ever because there was just I would say during the entire month while I stayed in Greenland, there were only like 4 nights, 4 days with clouds. So I would say I got extremely tired of photographing the night sky and the aurora,
yeah.
and I
You
and
get
I
pretty
had like
knackered.
2 month break from pictures after I get
Yeah,
home.
you've had too much. Had too much. Yeah, yeah. No, you just somehow get lucky. And every time I've been abroad, I've somehow just landed on like a week of clear skies. No
Yeah,
idea how. I've just
and I mean that is insane, crazy. I cannot even express my feelings. But I would
yeah,
say if for like comparison, the couple of uh, the couple of few times or the few last times when I've been to northern Norway, it
yeah,
was I would say yeah, I think the last time when I was in Norway, it was yeah, right before the COVID. So more than 3 years ago,
yeah,
or almost 3 years ago.
yeah.
And all the my previous times while traveling to Norway, it was like bad
Climate.
weather. Like
Yeah,
either there were no northern lights whatsoever.
yeah,
So and it was nearly during the full moon, so like
yeah,
very boring light, boring nightscapes, and
yeah,
stuff like that. So it was just waste of time, waste of money. But I mean,
yeah.
it wasn't really a waste of time because you still get
No, you're
experience.
still on.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you're still having a great time. But then again, when you don't really get any astrophotographs whatsoever, then it gets. I mean, you get really sad. The
yeah. Oh,
situation, the entire
100%. But
situation gets really sad.
that Norway place was because when I went in November, I was like photographing with like night lights, films, and like aging and stuff.
Yeah,
And like I was on the plane, like kind of looking at the weather, and it was like clouds the whole week. And I'm like, oh, damn it, it's gonna be a bad week. But somehow, obviously, he knows the place, and the weather. They've got like a microclimate, and even though it said cloud on my phone, it was like clear for like 4 out of the like 7 nights. So it's just completely weird microclimate up there. I think every
yeah.
country you go to has got their own wee kind of thing. You just have to kind of, speak to the locals and they'll know what to do. Because yeah, climates are very weird up there. Um,
Yeah,
yeah,
I've been to Lofoten twice, and I've been to Senja, and I
beautiful
yeah
there.
actually
Yeah,
yeah
yeah.
I met Adrian as well there.
Iceland's
But
another. I'm sure you've
yeah,
probably been to Iceland before.
I didn't yeah, it was actually a class trip to the
Yeah,
Iceland when I went back in gymnasium. It was yeah, on the last course of the
yeah,
high school. Yeah, we went to Iceland.
yeah.
I
Iceland's
think
beautiful. I'd always kind of Norway, Iceland. I'm always kind of I love Norway, but Iceland's just the landscape is just different. It
yeah,
feels
yeah. Yeah.
a different world up there. There's just something during the day, and then at night it's obviously amazing. But yeah, I don't know. The
But I
snow
would
of
say
Iceland.
Iceland, you can experience already over tourism in Iceland because
Yeah,
of
it's
all
too
this
busy.
hype, and I mean
It is
you
too
have
busy.
both. I mean, it takes the same amount of hours to fly from the Europe or either from if you are coming from the US. So this is
Yeah,
why there are twice as many tourists
yeah, it's really
you
busy.
can say that.
It's yeah. I
But
remember going to that famous mountain. Is it Kirkjufell? Oh
mm,
my God, the amount of lights about. I'm like, what's the point of even coming here? With everyone's just with the torches and stuff.
yeah.
Like if it's a clear night in Iceland with northern lights out, there's like queues of people at any waterfall. So, but it's just the way it is, really.
Well, unfortunately, I didn't have a chance to experience Iceland yet
Uh,
on my own because it was like a school trip, and
yeah,
we only had one day where we could do like whatever we wanted to do.
yeah,
So actually, I initiated to book a private trip or like attending a
nice.
tour,
Uh,
and four of my classmates, they really wanted to go with me. And actually the weather that day, during the last day, it was really nice. Finally, for the first day during the that week when we stayed in Iceland, it
uh,
wasn't raining, it wasn't windy, and it was
yeah.
cloud free.
Oh,
So we drove like in a minibus down to Vik, where you have this black
love
beach.
it. Yeah, beautiful there.
And on the way back, when it already got dark, the our driver he stopped like somewhere. He actually stopped twice on the way back to Reykjavik because there were northern lights.
Not much,
So
yeah.
I was
Good.
actually lucky to experience my. It was my first real aurora, where you could
Yeah,
see it with the clear, very clear with the naked eye and
yeah.
above your
It's
head.
yeah, it's
Because
mind blowing. It's definitely a
all the
thing.
previous times I only seen aurora, I only experienced it in Denmark.
Denmark, yeah. Well, Denmark's pretty much the same as Scotland. You just see it on the horizon, but it
Yeah.
does, it gets high sometimes. You do see all the reds and stuff. But yeah, it's nothing like Iceland, Norway.
No,
It's not.
you don't really experience an explosion in the sky. Well, I mean,
No.
the last couple of times for the past few months,
Yeah.
yeah, it
Yeah.
was we experienced quite a lot of explosions,
It was explosive. Yeah.
even near in Zenith. But
Yeah.
still, I think when you are in Denmark, where you are in mid latitudes, I think it's still really cool to experience aurora because you don't see it's. I mean, the aurora that you experience here in mid latitudes, it's like curtains or
Yeah.
light pillars that are switching on and off and just
Yeah.
dancing along the
Yeah.
horizon.
It's a completely different show.
It's a completely different show, but it's still so amazing and so
Oh,
mesmerizing
it's
to watch.
beautiful. Yeah.
Yeah.
It was kind of like only an hour away from like cities in Scotland, place called like Pitlochry. And then, yeah, it just started to kind of rise in the sky. I'm like, oh, it's going to get good. Looking at the stats, it's getting good. It's rising quite high in the sky. Here we go. And then I was setting up my cameras and looked up, and it just whole like wall of green. We're like, whoa! And it's so quick. It'll just come and then it'll fizzle and it goes back and it went all red. But yeah, it's a different explosion here because it's just right. It's like a wall in front of you. You're like, whoa. Whereas up at them latitudes, it's like, I mean, you don't know where to point your camera. You're just like, oh, Jesus, it's everywhere. But yeah, it's kind of a wall in front of you, which is just, yeah, it's beautiful. It's
Yeah.
beautiful and to see. And here, obviously, you get the greens and then the reds. You can clearly see like the layers. Whereas obviously, when you're under it, you're under it. It's all
Yeah,
over you.
you just seem nearly it's either
Yeah.
green or if it's
So,
a
yeah.
real storm, then you see the reds
Yeah.
all
Yeah.
over the sky.
Yeah. But these latches, it's good to see the layers of it. It's pretty
Yeah,
cool. Pretty cool.
I mean it's so
Um,
real. Yeah, I mean it's really minimalistic, but it's
it's
still
beautiful.
really
It's
cool to
just,
watch it.
it's absolutely
It's a
beautiful on
beautiful
camera. Yeah.
experience.
Yeah. One thing I want is like your equipment because your images are like my dream images. I like the colors and it's not too like over processed. Some people can be over processed, under processed. I like your sort of style and your colors. So what gear do you use?
I use for the stills. I use the Canon EOS 60, which
Mhm.
is astro modified, and it's the
Mhm.
60 Mark One. I, I got my first 60, which was not modified when I was on the second year of in the high school, which was back in 2015, I believe. So I've been using basically the same camera since 2015,
Yeah,
and I
you're a
still
Canon guy.
haven't done any upgrades to that.
Yeah, no, it just shows you. Obviously, you might just obviously track. Do you do quite a lot of tracked exposures and stack them all, or don't know?
No,
Everyone does it differently.
I actually do stacking only when I shoot deep sky, which is really seldom.
Mm.
Uh, but otherwise, I just do the tracked stills of the sky, and then I stack them together as a panorama, and then I shoot the foreground
Mhm.
untracked, and then merge those layers in Photoshop while
Mm.
all the images are taking at the same time and in the same direction.
Yeah, no, they're beautifully processed. They really pop. You're not featured on, was it APOD? National Photography of the Day or something? Was it?
Uh, yeah, I believe I
And NASA and stuff like that or something?
yeah, I have. Let me just remember the number. I believe, if I'm not lying, then I have 9 iPods.
There you go. In fact, I don't know how do you have to, I don't even know how you get them. Do you have to just send them in?
Yeah, you can just. I mean, anybody can send an email
Send them
with
in, yeah, yeah,
with the image, or just upload on their forum. If it
yeah,
still exists, I can't really remember, but I'm
yeah,
just using the email form.
Yeah. But no, you've won a good amount of awards. It's yeah, definitely very eye-catching your work.
Thanks a
Um,
lot.
yeah. What else? I've seen you even. I think it was a few weeks ago. You got someone to propose. Do you like kind of people come to you and just say, "Oh, can I propose under the Milky Way and stuff like that?" Do you get a lot
Yeah.
of them, or do you
Well,
do like
yeah,
workshops with
yeah.
people? Or
Yeah. Actually, I do both workshops and like field courses where I just take people out and basically teach them how to do astrophotography. I've been
yeah,
also I've also been invited to do a couple of speeches. I believe the biggest one was in Copenhagen in like a cultural, it's called a culture house or cultural house. Um, they told me they told me that at the beginning that there will be like 50 people attending, but when I got up to the stage and I saw like the entire
oh God,
it was like cinema. Yeah.
Mm.
Oh my God, how do you call it? Where you sit in a cinema?
Yeah, like theater,
The
cinema,
theater. Yeah, it's like
yeah, thing
the
like that. Yeah.
entire place was filled with people, so like at
Oh,
least
jeez, oh,
twice as many. So I was a
yeah,
little bit shocked. But I mean, when you are semi introvert, I mean, you just as when you just get more and more experience talking to new people and meeting
that's
strangers
it.
and talking in public and talking to bigger crowds, it just gets yeah easier with time and
It does.
with the
Yeah.
experience that you gain.
Experience is the best thing you could do. It's anything. Well, I did some like photography, like clubs just around Scotland, and I was like really nervous for like the first few. But you get into it, and
Yeah,
you just
same.
kind of find you're just chatting to guys, and they're normally interested in what you're wanting to say. So,
Yeah,
yeah, no, it's good that you've doing all that sort of stuff. Yeah, it's another side to photography. It's something different. Keeps you busy doing all these talks and stuff like that, and
yeah,
workshops.
that's really cool. But also, it's really encouraging to know that people are interested
Yeah,
in learning new stuff and
yeah,
despite their age. I mean,
yeah.
I would say when you are if you're if you only take like local photo clubs, there are basically people who are on their retirement whom you are
Yeah, they're
meeting.
always on the older side. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, but that's also amazing to know that like no matter what your age is, you can
Mhm.
still be interested in learning new stuff.
Yeah,
That's really
yeah. No,
amazing.
it's amazing. They're the nicest people as well,
Yeah,
and
it's
they'll always share
it's
stories.
never late to learn.
No, 100%. Yeah, absolutely. I was going to say something there as well. What was going to say there? Totally forgot. Um, what else? So you said you astromod your cameras. You do like the astro vlogs as well. So what do you film them on?
I have Sony AS.
Yeah.
No, no,
So
no.
it's
How A7S.
A7,
I have a
A7S.
A7S Mark III. Yeah, but
Oh, oh, you got a Mark III.
I got a Mark III.
I've just got the baby one. This is just the Sony A7S, but
Uh,
it does absolutely fine. Yeah,
but
I
it
think they're
was
like the only cameras that can kind of shoot in low light.
it was my investment of like the entire economy of the entire profit on the company.
Yeah, yeah, they are pricey.
But it's really cool. It's and I also finally invested in my first proper zoom lens, which is Sigma 24-70.
Right.
So I can also finally get more into daylight photography.
Yeah, yeah,
So since I believe it's since last autumn, I started to photograph like all the different events
cool.
and like alone like this month I got like 3 different bookings where I was asked to
Yeah, yeah,
photograph different events like yeah I just had my first with no experience my first wedding
yeah.
photo shoot.
Oh God, that's one
So
thing. That's
that
one thing I would hate the pressure on doing a wedding photographer?
I have
Oh,
never
nah,
tried it. I have never been to a wedding. I have never photographed anything like that.
yeah,
But they told me because it was one of my friends' older brother who was getting married, and they just told me, no worries, just we know that you can deliver
yeah,
extremely high quality photographs, so just don't worry, take it easy. There
uh-huh.
will be no limits in your movement.
Yeah,
Uh,
just you're free.
yeah, in your movement. So I thought that was actually really cool. But I would
Yeah,
say I was really sweating because I was just
yeah,
running around in circles
yeah,
during the those 2 hours while the entire ceremony was um,
yeah. Go on.
taking place.
I just think the stress of please this SD card doesn't corrupt or anything because it's literally these two guys is the most important day of their life all going into your little SD card and hopefully nothing goes wrong
I don't
because
know.
if something goes
I
wrong,
never. I mean, I hear all these stories all the time with like SD card or your camera just starts not working.
yeah, oh, it freaks
I
me
don't know. Maybe
out.
I'm just either I'm just lucky or I'm doing everything correct. I don't
Yeah,
know.
I think it's pretty rare if something does go wrong, but it's just in that one type. It's not just that. Oh well, I need to go home. It's no, get it working.
Yeah.
Oh God, no, not a
No,
chance.
but that was really cool experience. So I would
But yeah,
actually say that I enjoyed
yeah,
photographing wedding as an event. That was really cool.
yeah.
But then yeah, it took me 4 days
Mm.
going through
Process it
all the
all.
photographs and
Yeah,
editing.
yeah. That's what I think. Why the wedding photographers pay cost a lot because it's a lot of time. So photographers can only appreciate how much time it is to edit a picture, process it, and put it somewhere to send it out and all that stuff. It's a lot of behind the scenes time. It takes quite a
But at the same
time.
time, they just wanted to receive natural photographs
Hmm.
of the event. So there were almost no like as I call them fake photographs where you
Yeah.
set up a studio or set up a scene for the
Ah, see, yeah, and stage something.
portrait photography. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
They just wanted to capture the moments of
Yeah.
how
No, fair
everything
enough.
went.
No,
But that
good.
was
Yeah,
that was really cool.
good. No, as long as if you can, make a wee bit of side cash at doing photography, it's great. Like, it's great if you get people to go out and do astrophotography like workshops, but I mean, we have problems here, like the weather. I don't know how you can plan, right, let's go out, we'll just do a workshop
It's
next month.
impossible.
I don't know what
It's
the hell the weather is.
yeah,
It's pretty hard to dictate weather to make kind of workshops for astrophotographers.
it is absolutely impossible. I would say
Plus
besides
new
work
moons and stuff.
besides workshops, I also do like guided stargazing tours from time to time,
Cool.
which is not a workshop at all. Where just
Uh-huh.
take
You
people
just
out under the night sky. Yeah, use my laser pointer, take my set up my telescope, and
cool. And just
yeah, just
talk about
just
stars.
give
Yeah, yeah.
people an experience.
Yeah.
So I actually had a cooperation with a DMO, a local destination, and they invited me to make 3 guided tours, and everything was had to be arranged
Hmm.
1.5 month prior the actual events.
Oh,
So if the weather wouldn't be that great, and I'm still surprised that everything went absolutely perfect,
well,
that the weather held, that
yeah.
there were stars.
Yeah, that's hard.
It is absolutely incredible. But yeah, because otherwise I would just had to cancel everything.
Yeah, 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 but it's out of their control. It's one of those things that's just totally tough. It's just, yeah, out of their control, yeah. What else can we chat? What else have I got? What else have I done? What's your sort of like your temperatures and stuff in harsh conditions in Denmark? Do you get many cold? Is it too cold? You're beside the sea all the time, so surely it's not cold all the time
No,
or
no,
really
no.
hot in the summer.
I mean, in Denmark, it can be cold because it's windy all the time,
Yeah.
especially during winter. Like we nearly don't get any snow during winter time, but when when you get the north wind, that
Mm.
can be blowing with up to 20 meters per second.
Yeah.
And when you have the air temperature that is 0 degrees,
Hmm.
then you have a wind chill of -20, and
Yeah.
that's really cold.
It's cool.
But also I would say it's a combination of the cold feeling because you feel the cold air all the time, and the lack of cozy scenes with the
Yeah.
snow. It's
Yeah.
the whole effect, it gets just doubled, and it just really feels extremely cold, not
Yeah.
just for your body but also for your soul.
Yeah. 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 It's pretty cool standing with a camera. Um, yeah, it's not the best. But in summer, do you get any like really humidy temperatures? Because I know humid, like say for Noctis Clouds, prime summer, it's a bit sticky and your equipment gets wet, and that's not the nicest to photograph. Do you get any really hot nights? I'm sure you do.
I mean, yeah, I mean, you can basically count it because of the climate change, or how whatever people call it.
Yeah,
But the couple of past like summers, it has been. I mean, last year we experienced 35 degrees Celsius
yeah,
during summertime, and now the entire May it has been dry. It has been sunny. The weather is like plus 20, nearly 20 degrees Celsius,
yeah.
which is not that. I mean, it's not that warm, but for Danes, it's nearly
Pretty hot.
summer.
Yeah, you're probably the same as Scotland. Anything over 20, warm
Yeah,
day. That's a warm day.
it's no,
Yeah,
it's if it's over 20, then it's too hot for me.
yeah.
At
Well,
least
but
at least for me.
yeah, I think this Wednesday supposed to be our hottest day of the year, and everyone's saying it's going to get extremely hot on Wednesday. It's like 22, 23 on Wednesday. It's about it. And we're all going, this hottest day of the year, get ready for the
Yeah,
hottest day. But yeah, we're slowly getting into that. But yeah, hopefully the Noctis and Clouds do come out, and it's nice, and because it's nice photographing Noctis and Clouds when it's nice and warm. It's just comfortable photography, and it's really nice. I remember a few years ago you got Neowise as well in the prime height of the summer.
yeah,
Is that cool? That,
it
that was a cool
was.
experience.
I believe I was, as I believe I was the first in Denmark to photograph the comet.
Nice.
Um,
Handy.
it was, yeah. I mean, I was also featured in many different media sources and
Hmm.
media channels,
Hmm.
and stuff like that. But yeah, that night I actually had to. I decided to drive 2.5 hours just to escape the clouds
Yeah. Oh,
and
you would
to,
for Neowise. I think if it's it's a once in a lifetime thing. You're driving.
yeah.
Anyone would drive. You wouldn't not drive for a chance of getting at Neowise. And it was
But
beautiful.
the experience was absolutely beautiful, and especially when it was possible to capture it together with the Noctilus and clouds.
Yeah.
Although in Denmark, because it was the comet was hanging just slightly above the horizon. I mean, the entire sky it is way too bright, so you cannot really see any stars. And
Yeah.
at the same time, if you have a really thick layer of the NLCs, then
Yeah.
basically the comet disappeared
Yeah.
behind the ice particles.
Yeah. Yeah. That's
I
not the
mean,
best.
it was a cool experience. And the photographs were quite amazing.
Yeah.
Although I really missed the dark skies, so I really at that time I really
Imagine not Neowise and Dark Skies.
yeah,
Holy Jesus.
I dreamed to be either in the Canaries or in the
Yeah.
US or somewhere.
Yeah. I think, well, that was kind of Scotland's problem as well. Like, we all got good pictures of it, but it was still, the sky was just quite bright.
Yeah.
But people down in England, but more south than us, were getting a good detail. We just can't get much detail in it. We could get it on camera, but it wasn't, the best.
Hmm.
Yeah, imagine the size of Neowise in a dark skies. Holy Jesus. That'd been insane.
But also just the visual experience. It wasn't as
Yeah.
great as on the pictures, or as if the conditions were a little bit darker.
Yeah, yeah, no, I need to be darker. So hopefully we get another one if we ever
Yeah,
if we ever do
hopefully.
get another one.
Yeah.
Any other astro like memories you think of? You know, obviously Neowise is quite everyone remembers that. Any other ones that stick out?
Mm,
Obviously, the not Northern Lights show. I'm sure that sticks in your
yeah, I
memory now.
mean the aurora is basically the.
It
I
is the
mean the
pinnacle.
northern lights just give you so much experience. Like
Yeah, it's the
anytime when you
pinnacle.
see nearly no matter the impact or the size of the solar storm, it's always great not just to photograph but also to yeah
Yeah,
just witness a little bit
yeah,
with the naked eye.
yeah.
Um,
Well, it's amazing if you're taking like a time lapse. I think the time lapse is the best thing for Northern Lights because you can actually just sit back, forget about the camera, and just watch it. The amount of times you're just like, I just want to watch this, and you're mucking about the
mm,
camera, going, oh,
mm.
I just want to watch it. Yeah, yeah, no, that's surreal. Yeah,
But I would say for me, it's also really cool just sit down on a beach and while
yeah,
while you wait and witness with the naked eye how the entire things just
yeah,
builds
yeah,
up and how you see all this yeah light pillars just
yeah,
flashing and dancing along the horizon. It's
yeah.
yeah
Oh, it's mind
it's an
blowing.
incredible experience.
Yeah. Anything else? Well, Milky Way is always in the sky. It's beautiful, but but anything else that that stuck out? Have you ever caught a huge big fireball? I've
Yeah,
still never
I have seen a couple of huge fireballs, but I never had a chance to capture one.
capture it. I think that's the same with every astro. We see amazing ones. We saw one that started in the south and ended the north. We are shooting the right way, but a cloud came over at the
Yeah,
wrong time. There's always, yeah, I think, but yeah, I've never, yeah,
I've also seen a couple of really huge like green fireballs, but it was in the
nice.
completely opposite direction of
Yeah,
where my camera was pointing at.
yeah. Meteor showers are great. Last Gemini's meteor shower was great. We had perfectly clear skies for that and saw loads. Yeah,
No,
loads of.
I actually our winter was I would say it was disappointing.
Mhm,
Like everything from October, November, and almost all the way up to February. It was
mhm.
just it's disappointing through the entire winter.
Yeah, yeah. It's
So yeah,
down to
it
the clouds.
happens.
Yeah, it does happen. Yeah. Anything else that sticks out? No, that's
I
what you
mean,
think of.
I have quite a lot of memories just looking at the pictures that I share on my social media.
Yeah,
Um, but in general, I would say there's still so much to experience. I
yeah,
haven't been really out traveling quite a lot, uh, but in 1 month, that's the plan where I begin to travel
yeah.
and
It's good that you
yeah,
taking
finally
pictures
start
and
to experience and explore new areas, new locations, new countries.
yeah,
Maybe finally it will be my the time will come to experience southern sky. That's still the
yeah,
dream.
yeah. I'd love to do that. To see the Milky Way like above you, the Milky Way core like above you and stuff would be weird, and the Magellanic clouds and stuff. Yeah,
Yeah,
no, that's definitely on everyone's bucket list. Like La
Magellanic
Palma.
clouds or just the yeah
Yeah,
the
like
southern
go to La
lights.
Palma. Yeah, even the sunlights. Obviously, yeah, there's like places like Chile and really southern and it's really weird sky. Seeing Orion upside down would be mental. But even
That's
like
just
La
mind
Palma,
blowing.
yeah, even La Palma's pretty easy access for like us to get to. It's only like
Yeah,
probably a couple hours in the plane, and that's got good skies. But yeah, to see Orion upside down, I don't know. You'd be like, wait a minute, where am I looking? It'd be so weird.
yeah.
I would think to see that. But yeah, no, that's definitely.
Well,
Um,
I would say for me, just in general, like the first time when I saw the entire Milky Way core with the naked eye, like you cannot really experience that in Denmark. I mean, you
mm,
see the dark rift; it really stands out in the
yep,
dark skies, and uh, like August when the dark sky season begins, or in the early spring when you need to get out early in the morning and shoot as as people call it the core season.
yeah,
But
yeah,
you don't.
mm,
I mean, it's not such a great experience if you try to looking for the core area in Denmark. But
yeah,
when for the first time when I've been to to the Canary Islands, which was in 2019.
Yeah.
That was so crazy. Like
Yeah.
that was a great experience. It's I mean I would set it nearly at the same stage as witnessing the Northern Lights with the naked eye for the first time.
The
Like
first time would be mind-blowing.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, it was just so cool and so beautiful to finally
Yeah.
to see it with the naked eye.
Yeah.
Even
And then
though I
you need,
had so many pictures of the core and
yeah.
after processed and stuff like that, but it's
Yeah.
completely
See,
opposite thing when you see it with the naked
when
eye.
you're there, I can imagine when you're there, you see it, and then you take that first picture and you see it come on the back, you're like, oh, so good. It'd be amazing.
And especially
It's,
when the effect is 100 times
yeah.
stronger than
Yeah.
the
Better
human eye can
detail,
see
so
it.
much detail.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But just the entire experience, you see it, and when you press the shutter release button, and the 30 seconds pass, and
Yeah.
then you look at the back of your camera and what you saw and what you captured, it's just
Yeah. Yeah. It'd
amazing.
be
You
great
had
because you
done it
don't,
finally.
yeah, the amount of detail you get. That was one thing I don't think I've even mentioned it. Do you use any technical editing softwares for your stuff, or you just think everyone's like Lightroom,
No,
Photoshop pretty
I
much?
just use Lightroom as like a base for the base editing, and then I go to Photoshop and do the like photo merging and
Yeah.
working with different layers, and
Yeah.
yeah, just
It's very much same, yeah.
master process the
Yeah,
photo.
just yeah, change the landscape, the sky.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I think everyone does that. Cool. To round it up, what is what's that, your plans? What's your next goal? Is it like solar eclipses or what's your next thing?
Well, I would say first of all, I'm not a type of person who really plans
No. So just see.
anything. I really like to be spontaneous. I
Hmm.
mean, we are living in such an unstable world where
Yeah.
anything can happen, so it's really good not to have that many plans, I would say.
Yeah.
But I mean, I
Very true.
have quite a lot of ideas of what I want, and
Yeah.
what I would really love to capture. I mean,
Yeah.
just in general, yeah, finally, the first proper lunar eclipse. Uh,
Oh, they're beautiful. Have you not seen one of them?
I mean, I have seen it, but it has been
Enough.
always cloudy.
Yeah,
And
I've seen only one good one, and it wasn't that. I was not the best photographer at that
I,
time.
I mean, I have experienced the blood moon,
Yeah.
which was actually on the morning when we had to go to Iceland with the class, and
Oh,
came, I arrived to the schoolyard like at 3 in the morning, and we had to take a bus at 5 just to sit there and just to watch the lunar eclipse and
yeah. Oh, it's
just
beautiful. I
take some
know
pictures.
it's annoying how they're not too common. I mean, they are common, but we just don't seem to see much of them just now. But yeah, I remember
No,
seeing the first
you
one.
have to
But it's
travel. You have to travel
beautiful.
around the earth. Yeah,
Yeah, but it's beautiful to I don't know, just see you're literally just seeing a red moon. It's the weirdest
yeah,
thing. It's not human. I just think seeing a red moon, what people thousands of years ago thought they'd see the moon's turn red. What the hell's going on? It's the weirdest thing. It's the weirdest. And then total solar eclipses and stuff. That's on everyone I've been chatting to in this, they're like 2026. I think there's one coming through kind of Europe, so everyone's getting ready for that.
yeah,
That'd be
yeah.
insane to capture that.
But I would
Um,
say, I mean, even though that I got some pictures of the blood moon back in 2015, 2016, it's still a dream of mine to capture the lunar eclipse together with the Milky Way, where you can see
yeah,
everything.
yeah, a wide field one I think would
That's
be beautiful. Yeah, or a
yeah,
semi-wild one. I don't know, maybe like 50 millimeter. I think would be really cool shot of
yeah,
it.
or just to make a panorama as usual. That something that
Yeah,
I always nearly always do in
yeah,
my photographs. But otherwise, if I have any plans, I mean, I have a lot of ideas and I have quite a lot of dreams. Uh, I have quite a lot of vision for my future photographs. Like, think I have quite a lot of ideas about the locations that I would really love to visit to
yeah,
photograph nightscapes and yeah, as I have mentioned already, traveling to the Southern Hemisphere,
Yeah.
either
So
Namibia or Chile or New Zealand, those
yeah.
are mine dream destinations. Yeah,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
hopefully in the upcoming month, maybe, who knows?
Yeah. Oh, maybe then. Well, vlog it and put it on YouTube because it's great for memories. YouTube
Yeah,
as well. You know, do a vlog and then you can look back on it in years to come and you're like, oh yeah, I remember that trip. It's great for memories. But
but
yeah,
otherwise, it's also I don't know when you will be releasing the video, but also for the viewers, if you are looking for a astro travel buddy, send
there
me
we
a
go.
message on Insta.
Perfect. Well, I'm wanting to like make connections with everyone and then just all go to like La Palma. It'd be amazing or something. That would just be
Yeah,
carnage, pretty much. Yeah. It'd be something. No, it would definitely, yeah, I'd love to kind of meet up with different people from around the world and just go and travel. Because it's the best thing. Astrophotography is the best thing. Meet up with an astrophotographer and travel the world and see the night sky. Because everyone's got different
yeah,
night
yeah.
skies. And it's beautiful. Yeah. Well, hopefully we'll go to all of Palm or New Zealand together if we've got enough money. This,
Well, let me know. I mean, anything can be done on a budget.
yeah. Oh, 100%. Yeah. No, definitely. I think it's the same for myself. Go more south. Been north, done all the Northern Lights. Let's start going south a wee bit more and get some
Yeah.
kind of Milky Way overhead.
Let's start challenging ourselves finally
Yeah, yeah. We've
and
been and done
in
Northern Lights
trying to
now.
do the polar alignment where you cannot see the Polaris.
Yeah, I don't know how that'll work. Well, it's all the Southern Cross thing or whatever. I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, maybe when you're doing a big 14 millimeter, it's not too important, but we'll sort that when we come to it. Yeah. Well, perfect. Well, that's kind of about it, really. So thank you very much for kind of chatting. It's been great to chat. And
Thanks
yeah,
for inviting me and thanks for having me in.